Happy Good Friday, everyone. This is Solar Kneecap here with another YouTube Wi-Fi battle. Yeah, okay. So this is like the revenge of my Hail team because I actually put some good thought and care into it, and now it's a beast. Alright, so I lead off with my Abomasnow, and I go for the Seed and his Bastodon Stone Edges. And since I'm pretty physically bulky, I take that quite well for being super effective and stabbed, I believe. So, hail, and I get my lefties, blah blah blah, and I get some leech seed damage, and I could keep subbing up and waiting for him to miss with Stone Edge, but that would be boring, so I decided to go out and switch into my Heatran, just EV trained, kind of like a weird mix between a sweeper and a bulky. It's kind of cool. And yeah, he gets a defense drop, but that doesn't really matter. Hail comes, and all that good jazz. And I get some leech seed damage, and I get a lot from that, so I'm almost back at full, I think, just 7 off. And he switches out into a Floatzel, and it's too lazy to predict, and I just go for a Lava Plume. But not only is this just a stabbed Lava Plume, this is a Specs Heatran Lava Plume, which I don't care what you switch into. That thing's it's gonna take a punch. Look how much that did to that Floatzel. Sure, Floatzel's not the most bulkiest of Pokemon, but that was a good hit. And I don't know whether he's gonna go Waterfall, Aqua Jet, Surf. So just to be safe, I go into my EV'd. Yes, I'm starting to EV train now. Regice. Sorry, I'm addicted to sparkling water. Alright. So yeah, he Aqua Jets me and does a pretty good chunk of damage. And I get my leftovers. So good. Yeah, this was a really awesome battle. It lasted like 30 minutes, dude, and I had to cut it down. It's a little over 10. Whatever. I was expecting him to switch into some fire type, so I go Ancient Power. Does nothing to that Hitmontop. And leftovers. And I'm predicting the obvious, like close combat or whatever, something like that. So I go into my Dusknoir. Yes, I have, oh, excuse me, 2 ghost types on this team, which is pretty sweet. Frostlass and Dusknoir. I'll probably post a picture of this is probably the Hail team I'm going to be using from now on. Okay. So, yeah, I get the pursuit off, and there's a little lag there. That still does, like, absolutely nothing. Well, it does a little bit, but and he goes into his own Dusknoir. Now, I don't know what his is. Mine's kind of like a physically bulky, but more like, it's kind of like both, but a little more on the physical side bulky, and it's also a little more of a physical attacker. And I don't know what his is, but just to be safe, I'm just like, screw it, I don't care. So I think I go for well, okay, he goes for a Shadow Ball first, which sucks because, you know, I'm more physical bulky, so I take a good chunk of damage from that. And I set up Shadow Punch, and it drops him down to about the same as mine. I can't really tell. I definitely have more thanks to the leftovers, but I don't know. And I don't want to get hit by another Shadow Ball and die because I kind of need Dusknoir for a safe switch to any physical move. So I switch him out, and I go into my Honchkrow. Pretty cool to have something that's weak against Ice type on your team, on a Hail team. There, so he Shadow Punches and does around 90 damage or so. Laughable because my awesome Honchkrow is trained in health, special attack, and speed. So it's a pretty interesting one. So he goes for a Future Sight. That actually is going to come into play a little bit. Not really, but kind of. And I go for a Nasty Plot because, like I said, this is special. And I'm just going to go for the Dark Pulse right now because I don't want to risk him, you know, switching out to something that I can't take care of. So, turns out I could have gone for another Nasty Plot, but I'm at +2 right now, so I'm feeling pretty good. By the way, this Haunch Crow has, I think it's a dark plate, whatever the plate does that boost its dark type moves by .2, I believe. Dread plate, that's the name, I think. Alright, well, I don't want to get hit by a Stone Edge because I don't know if my Dark Pulse would kill. So I just go into my safe switch in, which is Heatran. But it misses anyway, so I probably could have taken it out, but you know what. Excuse me. So everyone hail, and I take the future side attack, and I'm like, oh gosh, because I mean, look at that. Ended like 100 damage just right there, and I'm like, ah, Heatran. So I just go for the safe Lava Plume because I think it's Steel Rock, maybe Steel Ground, and I get a crit. I really don't think that mattered. I probably would have killed it anyway, and I don't know. I know it has Iron Tail. I don't know if it knew any ground moves because it probably would have used it against any of my other Pokemon. So he switches out to the Hitmontop, and of course, you know, expecting the fighting move, I go again back into my Dusknoir. Yeah, that was a really smooth cut. Okay, so I guess he went for the revenge because he's like, I don't know, he probably thought it was hopeless. But you kind of never give up. Because I have 0 speed EVs in that Heatran. Pretty cool. I don't know, that's probably retarded, especially since mine has a, I don't know, but it has reduced speed. I think it might be sassy. Sassy. Alright, well I went for the Will-O-Wisp, and he gets the Typhlosion, and I'm like, ah, darn it. Such a waste of a move. And I'm just praying, I'm looking, I'm like, ooh, 101. I think I might be able, I knew I couldn't live an Overheat, but I think I could live a Flamethrower. And he goes Flamethrower. And I'm going, I'm like, come on, come on. And I live at 10 and I get a curse off, which is epic. I don't know why people don't have curses on Dusknoir. Because you can get like curse and rest. I think Dusknoir can learn rest. I mean, that's a curse resting Dusknoir would be pretty awesome. I should make one. No, I'm not going to make one. I like mine. So he gets a little curse damage off, and that's really nice. And I think I switch out to my Heatran because I know that he has, I know he has Overheat and Flamethrower, and I don't know what other moves he has, but I don't think he can really touch this Heatran unless he has some random hidden power, water or something. But he goes Double Edge. I guess, you know, that's the best he could do. Gets a little damage off of me, and I just go for Lava Plume. And I don't have Flamethrower because Lava Plume has a 30% chance of burning an opponent, and I kind of like that. I'm really big on residual damage. It's just something I dig. So, Dusknoir technically, I guess, takes out the Typhlosion with the curse. It doesn't really matter. Heatran could have taken whatever that Typhlosion could have brought. Alright, so he switches out again to his Floatzel, and I'm like, Aqua Jet, I don't want to deal with that or anything else. Because I'm pretty sure his Floatzel's probably faster, so I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just switch back into my, I think I switch into Regice. And I do. Ba-ding. So there's Reggie. And he goes Aqua Jet, and I'm like, and doesn't do as much. Oh my god. Must have been like Maximin there or something weird like that. So he takes a little damage from hail, and I get a little bit of leftovers, and I'm just gonna go Ice Beam, I think. No, he surfs first, and does a good chunk, maybe like 80 damage or so. Okay, that's not really a good chunk, but I get a crit, and that really mattered, because it would probably, you know, been a 2-hit KO. I couldn't have 1-hit KO'd that. Because this Regice can't really touch water types. Like, it can touch fire types because it's got, you know, that ancient power move, which is really nice. Okay, so he switches out into his Hitmontop, and I'm thinking, alright, time to finish him off. So, Dusknoir's in there, so I have my second backup, which is Frostlass, and yes, it's caught in a netball, which is probably the coolest thing ever. I just like catching retarded Pokemon and retarded balls. Okay, well, it's not retarded. I mean, it's not retarded at all, it's just... curse you being politically correct. Whatever. Well, he predicts my Psychic, but I get a crit, which really sucks. So I know I'll easily be able to one-hit KO it with a Blizzard, because that's just like overkill. So I go for Blizzard. And it does a good chunk of damage. I really like this Frostlass. It's pretty strong. And Hail's Fallen doesn't affect me because I'm Ice type. Because Hail teams are the best kinds of teams. Okay, so he switches out to Hitmontop finally. And I'm just going to go for the finishing Psychic. Yeah, his Hitmontop lagged like crazy. Alright, well, thank you for playing me, Kevin. I'll put your link in the description again if I can, because it's a weird setup on YouTube. Bye.